So there's this Lexus ES350 that makes this shaft noise. So I want to make a video. I'm trying to make a video on how to actually replace the shaft. I don't know. I'm thinking about changing just the head that makes noise, but I think that won't really last long because there's really no good quality shaft head for someone to purchase. So I'm going to make a video of how to replace the entire thing, both sides, because it's making this cracking sound whenever you go through corners. So I'll carry you guys along on how I replace the shaft. Thank you. So we're having the car all jacked up now, and I would carry you guys along on the process. But for now, I want to say something very important. These cars, this ES350, they usually use this CVT transmission and uses aluminum and steel belt inside their transmission. So this car is quite hot. So taking out the shaft while the transmission is very hot would cause damage most of the time, usually cause damage to the transmission, in the sense that once you take out the transmission, the shaft, once and while the transmission is hot, cold air rushes in and makes those metals that expand to maintain that form, whereby after assembling the car there would be issue or those metals could crack. So I rather wait and make everything get really cold before I start taking out my shaft. So it's advisable to wait for your car to be very cold before you take out the shafts. Yeah, so I've have this one sprayed down, and I've taken out this 12 knot here, and I've taken out this 10 here. This one method that I got from Kake Knot. I'm trying to like improvise on it to see if I can use my own cheap available tools to have them done. So he has these fancy tools that I don't have, but I'm going to be using my basic tools to have this done. And I'm about taking out this one now. Let me let me turn my steering towards this side. So I've had my steering turned towards where I ought to have it turned. So I'm going to be using this sponge here to stop the wheels from turning while I'm trying to like lose the shaft. It's very difficult doing this with one hand while I have it on camera. So I'm gonna be losing this. It's quite hard. So this is 30 socket that I'm using to have this loosed. So having this loosed, after doing this, I'll go ahead and lose the ball joint. So right now I've taken out the nut and I've punched it in and it's come free. So I'll be taking out the ball joints now, and I'll be using this clamp here. It's a basic clamp here to clamp these shock absorbers towards the rear so I can have chance to actually take out the shafts. I'll be changing it complete as an assembly, brand new, because this one is really making that noise. I just even replaced this steering rack. As you can see, it's new, still shining. I didn't make a video of that though. So I've taken out the ball joint nuts, all of them, but you can see the ball joint is still attached to the lower arm. So I'll be using this long flathead screwdriver to actually pry the ball joint off the low arm. You can see it's out of the way. Now that it's out of the way, I can easily just bring up the shaft towards this area. You can see the shaft is out of the way. So all I need to do right now is use the same screwdriver here to actually pry this out from here. But mind you, if you're prying it out, you should make sure that everything is absolutely cold, and it's gonna pour out oil a little bit. But because of the way I just lifted the car, it shouldn't pour out too much oil. It should just have some. So guys, I'm going to be using this bucket here to catch the oil, just in case there is any oil spillage. So I'll put it in the under here, and I'll be using this pry bar here. I don't know if you guys can get a glimpse of it. This pry bar here to actually pry on this shaft cup here. It should pull out quite nice and easy, you know. Let me see. add some force to it. I'm using quite some force to actually pull it out, you know. See, this should work. Sometimes usually stubborn, you know. I'm not quite comfortable here, but I'm pulling it up. Damn. These are part of those things that happens while you work. I think I would. So I've been able to actually pull it out without pry bar, but it took quite some force. I couldn't actually have that on camera. You can see the oil spilling I was talking about. If you don't have this cached, you might just have all your floor all dirty, you know. So catch all the spillage. I might not put it back in. So this is the shaft. Shaft is out now. You can see this is what it looks like in the cup. So this guy here is the one making the noise. As you can see, the hose has torn here and water might have gotten into it, and that's how the shaft goes bad. So this is what we'll be replacing right here. This is what we'll be replacing. This whole assembly here. And I've gotten a new one. So I've gotten a new one here, and this is the old one. Let me put it side by side so you guys can see. This is a brand new one, brand new shaft. You can see what it looks like. Huh? This is it. It's an assembly. Let me bring it up. So this is the assembly I'll be changing. This is a brand new shaft, and the quality is quite good. Shaft. And this is the other side. The other side is longer than this one here. You can see this is the other side here. So that's what I'll be putting back in. It comes with this nut here, this lock nut I can use to lock whatever you want to lock on them. This one lasts quite longer than just replacing the head here. Quite pricey, but it's worth it in the long run, you know. So this is what I'll be changing. So this is it. I'll put it back. Let me put it side by side here for comparison. The quality is quite okay, you know. It's quite good compared to, well, there's nothing compared to the factory fitted ones, but it's better than whatever you get out there in the market, you know. But this is what Toyota sells. They don't sell just this head, they sell the complete assembly. So this is what we're putting back in. After installing this one in, we'll go and install this other side too, and that will be that about it. About installing it in, the installation process is nothing special or difficult. It's just the reverse of everything we did while taking it out, except the fact that now we would have to try to put in new oils, you know, or we can put this one that leaked out back in, you know. Then there's a little trick to this. You would have to actually hit this shaft in, you know. It doesn't just go in that easy. You would have to actually hit it in, but before you hit it in, you just make sure that this cup here is straight, because it has this little key. You might just jam on it like this. It goes in. If it doesn't go in that way, then we'll be forced to use a punch and a hammer to get the job done. So this is a punch. Yeah. So this is a punch here with this round head. I'll be putting it right here. Right here. And I'll make sure that this shaft is as straight as it can get. You know, it's as straight as it can get. Then I would hold it like this, straight. Then I'll be hitting it with a hammer. You know, it's difficult doing everything with just one hand. So have this carefully set. Very good, draw it back. It's good to have hands here helping you. Then just, if it's not straight, you might not get your result. and there you go, it's in. So shaft is in now. You can see it's in, just that easy. You can have somebody have this one drilled back, then we'll have this knot loosed, and yeah. So you have this one put in, and then the next thing that goes in should be the ball joint. So the ball joint goes in. You just have this guy torn. Just make sure the shaft has gotten into the wheels here. You can see it's inside. Then you press down on this control arm that is under here. Press down on it a little bit to have this. But there is another way. You can see this steering is actually not straight, so you'd have to just make sure your steering goes back in the straight position, then the ball joint would go in easily. So I've had the steering straight, and I'm using this pry bar here to press down on this control arm while I try to control this ball joint in. So when the ball joint goes in, you start with this bolt first. You try to run these bolts in with some threads. So if you've gotten some threads, you get this one too tight, and that's there about. The rest of it will be the reverse of everything we did, except the fact that we'll be putting back the oil that we got out by actually the oil tap is here. We'll take out this two place here to see 124 bolt that is holding the oil tap. So that's right about it. So the rest is just wiggling and wiggling in. So now we'll be assembling everything in the reverse order, and shouldn't be that difficult. Just how you took everything out, that's how you be putting them back in. Just make sure that whatever you're tying, you're actually tying them properly. You know, that will really help. Something what's happening with this? So having this tied down properly. Having this also tied down properly. You see that all the bolts have been hand tied before I won't try to tie them with my tool. I've already tied my knot here snug, so it's like held in by a 30mm knot. And I have to use this as a stopper. Stop it from turning. You can see that. So you're really gonna have to tie it very well. Probably I'm gonna be using my feet to actually torque it down strong so they don't come apart later. Although they have this lock that you use for them. I think this is properly locked in so it doesn't come loose, because it's something that rotates always in the opposite direction. So you would now have to see what this one does here is to actually lock this guy. Here is to actually lock this guy, this notch that is here. You use your punch to press the nut down to it. So yep, see, that's locked in. It's not gonna be coming loose again, because this one will stop it from coming loose. So that's it for this part of shaft replacement. So the other side is very similar, only the fact that it's quite long. So that's just a little process, just a little difference. So that's it. So on this side I didn't take out the whole thing, the whole length of it. You can see that's the cup That's the inner cup. It has a bearing on that angle there. I don't know if it's clear. So I just took out just the half of it, the shaft here. This is all greasy and messy, so that's the same time, because this cup here doesn't really go bad, and it has this bearing on this angle here that is very, very tough to take out. In the process of taking it out, you might either hurt the bearing or the casing, and these things, they never go bad. I've in my life of repairing cars, I've only replaced this bearing once for making noise. It makes this noise like when your propeller for on the four-wheel drive is bad. That's how it sounds. So I'll be changing it halfway like that, so we wouldn't just make our work unnecessarily long. So this is the both length side by side. So you can see this is what I'm not using. This side goes into the transmission, and this is the inner cup, and this bearing is the bearing that I was talking about, that it really goes bad. If it goes bad, you'll be hearing that noise like on a four-wheel drive when the propeller is bad, or when the Sedan casing is bad. That's kind of noise you'll be hearing. But on this other car here, it's okay. So I don't see the necessity for me to actually change the cup. So this is what is faulty. This axle here is what is faulty. So I'll be replacing just this part of it, and I'll be reusing this part of it for the old one, and I'll be changing this one into the system. So I'll have to take out this clip here, and the way to do that, I'll be using this cutting plier. This is the kind of clip I'll be using in return. This Titan one here, that I'll be using in return, but this one is not reusable. So taking this clip out, there is this locker here. There's this locker here that stops this clip from actually going apart. So I'm going to be tapping on it. After mouth open, you can see it's raised up, so that way the clip should just come free. You can see it's come free, and then this one here, actually, then this one comes free. Yeah, good afternoon. So this one comes off easily, and then you have to turn it upside down, and there you go. So before installing this one, I'm going to be using adding some grease to it to make it more greasy. So that's all for now. This grease here, it's just this little grease here. It has a different color, but it's still the same thing. So I'll apply it to this bearing here, then I'll apply the rest into the cup, although there's already grease inside, so even if I didn't apply grease, it would have still worked. So I think this is there about enough grease. And then I shouldn't forget one very important thing. This clip that I'll be using, I will install it on the shaft hose first. I need to install it in a way that it won't be difficult to tie. Okay, it needs to go this way. Yes, this will be easier to tie. And I put it in. Oh shit. So I'm putting it in, minding the bearings as well. This needs to go one side. Okay, there we go. Alright. It's really one of these messy jobs that one has to do. I got it. So I'm done installing the shaft on this side. It's quite tricky. I had to replace the inner bearing to have this go in. So right now